Are you tired of rising ad costs, shrinking margins, and feeling like your brand is stuck on a hamster wheel? If so, you're not alone. And the good news, there's a smarter, proven way to increase your sales without spending any more money on advertising. Now, this system I'm about to share with you today has already generated over 50 million euros in total email sales over the course of the past 3 years, together with results like this and this for our e-commerce clients across the board. And today, for the first time ever, I'm giving it to you for free. In this training, you're going to be learning all of my best kept email marketing secrets, including the exact frameworks we use to grow our 6 to 8 figure e-commerce clients, irrespective of the niche. It's basically my last 3 years of work condensed into this one simple roadmap that's guaranteed to transform both your email marketing and together with it, your whole business. Now, my name is Werner Brander. I'm the CEO and founder of CrowTrigger. We're the #1 Klaviyo partner in Finland, specializing in retention marketing for Shopify brands. And together with my team, we've helped over 50 e-commerce brands grow profitably while generating 35 to 55% of their total revenue through email marketing. Now, here's my email address. Whenever you have any questions about email or retention marketing in general, just shoot me an email. I'm really happy to help there. Also, here are my social media profiles, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube, where I'm posting weekly educational content about email and retention marketing in general. Now, I'm here today because I know you're probably looking for ways to finally get ahead in today's increasingly competitive e-commerce landscape, where ad costs are rising, brand loyalty is at an all-time low, and the competition never sleeps. And first of all, let me assure you, you're in the exact right place. Because in this video, I'm going to show you the best and the only way to increase your bottom line without spending any more money on advertising, relying purely on what you already have. After watching this video and going through the roadmap I'm about to share with you as a document as well, you'll be having a clear roadmap towards decreasing your customer acquisition costs, boosting your customer lifetime value, and achieving transformative revenue growth within just 30 to 90 days after implementing the strategies I'm about to share with you today. All with the help of hands-free automated email marketing systems and performance-driven campaign management. Now, why should you pay attention to this? I know you're probably been burned by another agency or marketing guru before, promising big things only to leave you disappointed and deceived. And of course, I totally get it. We've heard this many, many times from our clients before they came to us. And that's also why I'm not here to make any crazy claims like that. I'm simply here to show you what's actually working for brands just like yours. And to do that, I'll let our results speak for themselves. So here's what's possible with the help of the strategies we're going to be sharing to you today. We helped countless e-commerce clients go from struggling to thriving by transforming email marketing into a profitable growth lever for their business. Take the supplement brand from Finland as an example. Within just 1 month of working together, we helped them break 7 figures, double their email sales, and 4x their revenue from email campaigns. And here I can show you a quick introduction into this case study. You'll have a full link into this in the roadmap so you can check it out yourself. But basically, this is the starting point when we started with them in May 2024. And then 1 month later, we're already making this much more money with campaigns, this much more money with email in total, and also the total revenue is up this much. And yeah, you can see the whole case study. All of our case studies are linked in the roadmap, so you can go through those in your own time. But for now, I'm just going to be showing you a brief, kind of like a sneak peek towards it. Also, here's another example of a US-based health and wellness brand. We helped achieve their first 7-figure month and 9x their email revenue in just a month of sending weekly campaigns during BFCM 2024. So here you can see the starting point before BFCM in October 24, and then here, just a month later, pretty crazy difference as you can see. Or this fast-growing telemedicine brand from the US, who we helped to migrate to a new email service provider, built their whole email setup from scratch, and took their email design from this on the left side to this on the right side, helping them scale to multiple 8 figures a year. And let me just show you a quick explanation or like sneak peek again into the designs that we're doing for them. So this is what they used to be having before we came to work with them. Just like a really simple plain text, long form copy, not optimized for conversions, not optimized for clicks because there's no links even at the top or anything. No proper footers, like the main parts of email marketing conversion optimization of the design are missing here. And then changing to this other one, this is our work since we started working with them. Conversion optimized hero section, product images implemented into the hero image, simple visuals to help them understand the products, and CTAs and additional recommendations at the bottom, together with this footer where we have a proper branding. We have additional CTAs like download their app, referral program, collection links, and everything, which bring a lot of additional links and additional clicks, I was meant to say. So basically, yeah, it's not hard to imagine which one of these generates more clicks to the site, more traffic to the site, and also more conversions over the long run. So that's one example. And then here's another example of how we just in 9 months of working with us helped this healthy coffee and mushroom from the UK 3x their total sales and 4x their email sales by following the exact strategies I'll teach you in this training. So again, a small sneak peek. We started working with them here in March 2024. We're still working with them. Basically, during the year, there's been a beautiful uptrend of revenue from email. So this is like the starting point. And then we got into this pretty quickly. And then at the end of the year, it was already like 3x total sales. And then email sales were also like almost 4x from that point into this end of the year, 2024. So here's a sneak peek of that. And again, you have the full case study of this again, linked in the roadmap that you are going to be receiving as a document as well. And then, of course, to show you a little bit more than just these fancy numbers, here's some additional visuals on how we've leveled up our clients' brand image and design all over again with the help of our team of expert designers combined with our automated AI workflows. So first of all, here's an example. These are the assets that we received from the team, from our client. So basically a plain product image with a plain background, same here. And this is what we turn them into when it comes to email her sections and email design. So again, comparing to having this in the email her section and comparing to this, it's not surprising that this generates much more clicks to the site, much more engagement, and then also much more kind of like, conversions from that, of course, because we're getting more traffic there. We're getting people more curious about, they're more engaged about this. So again, a big difference from just having a plain image into having this kind of design in the section of the emails. Another example, turning this plain product image, transparent product image with no background into this lab shot with the help of our designers, some Photoshop work, and then some AI design work. Another example, again, plain transparent product images turned into these email hero sections. So somebody holding the product itself, AI generated person together with some Photoshop work to have it in their hand. And the same thing here on the second one. Of course, these results are just the beginning. We're still working with all of these brands, and the results are compounding with each passing month. Now, before we're going into the training, if you're ready to transform your business, just like the brands I showed above have, go ahead and claim your free email consultation audit with me from the link below this video. Take a look at where your email marketing is currently at and discuss whether we'd be a good fit to work together. However, if you prefer to tackle this on your own, I'm going to be walking you through exactly how you can do it step by step using the roadmap I've created and I'm sharing to you today. So now let's dive into the training itself. All right, so here we are in this training, and let's start by just going over the whole overview of this framework. So basically, e-commerce email marketing success comes down to the following 6 key pillars of email marketing: technical setup, deliverability, segmentation, list growth, flows, and campaigns. And to ensure success, the interesting part about this is that you must start from step 1 here and progress down the list in a chronological order as you optimize the previous steps. So for instance, with bad email deliverability, you won't be able to generate significant email revenue, even with perfect emails, because people simply won't find your emails from the spam folder if they're landing there due to the bad domain reputation. And thus, you need to make sure that you have a strategy in place to heal a bad domain reputation and maintain a good one. So let's go through the first 3 steps first. How I like to define these is basically by calling these steps 1 to 3 as the backbone of email marketing. And the cool part about these steps here is that after you've set them up once, they'll be working as a strong backbone for your email marketing channel forever with only a little bit of maintenance work. And of course, they're also really easy to set up. as long as you have the right frameworks and right SOPs in place. You simply need to follow the exact instructions given in this training. I'm going to be giving you these plug and play checklists that you can simply follow to set everything up and set you up for success on the steps 4 to 6. So implementing these is crucial for your email channel to perform at a high level, and taking action right now as soon as possible will keep paying dividends far in the future. Now steps 4 to 6, which are list growth, flows, and campaigns. These are the actual money makers of your email marketing. So once you have the first 3 steps under the hood done and optimized, it's time to start making some money by getting people to your list and then emailing them. And steps 4 to 6 take much more work than the first 3, and the work will never be finished. And in this training, we are focusing on building a great baseline for your email sign-up forms, automated flows, and regular campaigns. And you can, of course, get quite far by taking and implementing these strategies here, but to really crush it with email marketing, you'll need to continue with weekly and monthly split testing and A/B testing after the core sign-up forms and emails are in place. But again, don't worry, this training offers ready-to-implement strategies and templates that will not only make it easy for you to improve your current emails, but also teach you to understand the actual deeper art of email marketing better, which will then in turn help you with ongoing optimization later down the line. So I'm not just giving you the first templates, I'm of course also giving you those in the training, but I'm also trying to teach you to understand what email marketing essentially is, so you will be able to understand how to make changes, how to optimize, what are the main goals, what are the main metrics to track, and all of this kind of stuff. So now, once we have gone through the overview of the actual training, let's go through each of these steps briefly in this video. So of course the document is really long. I'm going to be sharing the document to you. There's a lot of links to additional tutorials I've made, and everything is something that you can just like everything here is for you just to read through yourself, go through it on your own time. But in this video, I'm just going to be focusing on giving like a higher level overview of these steps, and then you have the document yourself. So you'll basically have everything you need to go through these on your own time. So first of all, technical setup. Here's the exact list of settings we use in our clients' Klaviyo accounts for optimal results. For those outside Klaviyo, these settings might be slightly different due to certain features missing or certain different features compared to Klaviyo, but the same principles apply, so you can still use the same list as your guide. And here is the exact checklist. Pretty much you can just take this checklist and you can progress down the list, go to each of these steps and mark them as done as you optimize that one. And once you've gone through the whole list, you're going to be able to know that, okay, right now with this checklist optimized, I have my technical setup in place in a robust way. And going through this checklist shouldn't take you more than 15 to 60 minutes, but it's crucial for optimal results and clean and accurate data. Now, step 2 is going to be deliverability. This one is one of the most often overlooked aspects of email marketing, and it's absolutely crucial if you want to reach even average, let alone exceptional results with your emails. Because, like I said before, if your email deliverability or the domain reputation is low, most of your emails will land in the spam folder, causing them to get seen by close to no one, because no one is going to be checking their spam folder for emails. So in this section of the training, you're going to be getting a list of steps you need to, first of all, analyze your deliverability, then set up a healthy sending infrastructure, maintain a healthy domain reputation, and then if you are in a position where you need to do this, how to warm and heal a new or unhealthy domain. And I have a full tutorial here about how to analyze your email deliverability in just 3 minutes, and how to set up a Google Postmaster, which is one of the key parts of this analysis here. So you can open these on your own time, check them out. I have perfect guide there with visuals, so you can just follow along and do these on your own. Now, the second part, which is the healthy sending infrastructure setup. Here's another like short checklist for you to help you optimize your infrastructure setup here. And this contains stuff like setting up a dedicated sending domain, setting up a DMARC verification or like authentication in your domain, choosing the correct addresses, setting up DKIM and SPF and BIMI, setting up branded mail in Apple Business Connect. Once you have BIMI and Apple Business Connect set up, you're basically going to be able to view your emails in the inbox like this. So instead of having this non-image email coming from here, you can have your logo show up in the inboxes. So this is something that increases brand recognition and is a good thing to do. It doesn't take a long time to do it, and it's really beneficial for the brand recognition. So I would suggest doing this. But everything else here, like these ones, are definitely the priority. You need to have this in place to be able to have a healthy domain reputation deliverability. Now, how to maintain healthy email deliverability? You need to focus on 3 key things. First of all, regularly analyze your deliverability by using the analysis frameworks I introduced to you above. So this one here, so you can go through it. Then the second step is to clean your list monthly or quarterly. There's 2 reasons to do it. The key reason is the deliverability, so you can keep it high. But the other important reason nowadays is also that you don't want to be paying for unengaged or inauthentic or fake profiles or addresses on your email list, and you want to clean them away because you're going to be saving hundreds or even thousands or even more money per month if you just remember to clean them away from there. And list cleaning, once you have the correct segments set up that we're going to be teaching to you in this training, you can simply clean your list in less than 60 seconds per month. You simply need to go to the segments and press a few times like suppress current members, and that's everything you need to do. You just need to make sure that you have the segments ready and done for you, and then after that, the cleaning will only take literally less than a minute every month or whenever you want to do it. The third step here for deliverability maintenance is to auto-regulate your email health metrics by playing with campaign targeting. So first of all, if your campaign open rate is between 35 to 50%, you usually want to keep the same segment size. If your open rate is consistently above 50%, you can increase the segment size a little bit. And then if your open rate is below 35%, you need to tighten it a little bit so you don't hurt your deliverability. And I have another example of this and a little bit deeper dive into this on this campaign section of this training, so you will understand it better. But this is like the overview and the rule of thumb that you need to follow to make sure that you have a good deliverability and you're able to maintain it. Now, in most cases, this process here will help you maintain and strengthen your deliverability over time, as long as you follow the best practices and aren't buying lists or deceiving your customers. However, if your domain is new or the deliverability currently in really bad shape, you'll need to take some specific action to warm or heal your email domain. And for that, I have a specific guide here. So here's the email domain warming. When you're setting up a new domain or just starting email marketing, you'll need to do this. And you'll need to start warming it up from scratch before being able to safely reach big audiences without landing in spam. And this process is usually pretty straightforward. And Klaviyo already has a decent tutorial article on the topic. But basically, it just means that you need to start with a smaller, more engaged audience. Let's say you have like 10,000 profiles on your list. You need to start with 2,000 or something like that, most engaged people in the list. And then once you are reaching these higher open rates, as I'm explaining here, then you can just slightly increase the volume from 2,000 to 4,000 profiles, then going up and up and up as long as you are able to maintain the healthy open rates until you reach the whole list. And that's basically the way that you warm it, and you can find the instructions from these links when you are doing that. Now, if you have already been sending a lot and your existing domain reputation is bad, the domain warming needs more work. And in this case, it's going to be about domain healing process instead of warming. It can be like healing or rewarming, but it's a different process in this case, and it's a little bit more challenging. But luckily, we've done it many times for our clients. We have really good cases explaining to you step by step the full strategy we did for them without leaving anything out from it. So you can just go through this doc and follow the steps, and you can do it for yourself and replicate it to fix your domain reputation if you have these issues. And but yeah, basically, when is this needed even? This is needed if your email open rates are consistently below 30 to 35%, because in this case, you're most likely having a bad domain reputation and landing in the spam folder. And of course, this is a big issue, as it means most of your emails are not getting seen because they are inside the junk folder. And yeah, depending on the severity of the situation, the healing process can take anywhere from a few weeks up to even 1 to 3 months. And yeah, like I said, we have a really good strategy for you here, how we did it for one of our clients. They had like 2,000 profiles on the Klaviyo list, or even more. I think they had like almost 3,000 profile on the 300,000 profiles on the list, sorry, and only like 150 profiles out of the whole list were engaged because they had so bad deliverability. And here I'm outlining the whole strategy on how we took them from that to a healthy domain reputation, increased their open rate from 5% to 50%, and also took them from 0 email revenue to 2K a month in just a little bit over 1 month after we had been able to fix the domain reputation. So you can find it from here when you're going through the doc yourself. So that's it about deliverability. Now let's jump into segmentation, which is the third step of the email backbone. So email segmentation is important for two main reasons. First of all, it's important for sending target email communication. And second of all, it's important for understanding our audience better. So basically for data analysis and insights purposes. Now, before I'm sharing our plug-and-play segmentation strategy, there's one key concept you need to understand, which is the difference between lists and segments. So a list means a static list of people who have shared their emails with you. For example, somebody signed up to your newsletter list. That's a list. And then a segment is a dynamic group of profiles defined by a set of conditions. So for example, out of the newsletter list, you can make a segment of people who are in the newsletter list and have made one order over all time. And this is basically like your customer segment. And then this is dynamic, so it's going to be changing over time when somebody makes an order and so on. For clean and accurate data, you only want to have one master list that contains all of the profiles who signed up for your emails. And you can further segment these people based on the source property in your Klaviyo account. So for example, if you want to have like a different, let's say a different welcome flow for people who sign up through your pop-up and people who sign up through your, like if you have like Facebook lead ads or something like this, you can then segment out people in the same list. So when they are, signing up to your newsletter list, they can go to the welcome flow, but then you can have two different segments based on a conditional split, which puts people who have the source property as the pop-up in one path, and then those people who have the Facebook lead as source property are going down the other path. So that's something you can do if you want to, for example, have different offers in these different channels where people are coming from. Now, once you have a master list, you can easily analyze your monthly list growth rate and segment the list further. Now, here's the actual segmentation strategy. So again, you have the whole doc. You can just find all of the segments we suggest creating with exact conditions on how to create them. So I'm not going to be going through all of these right now in the video, but you have everything here. You can just go here, plug and play, take these templates and duplicate them into your own account. And yeah, that's everything you need for the segmentation. Of course, there might be some context dependent things, like you might want to create some additional segments or something, but these are everything that you at least want to create. All right, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then when it comes to these list cleaning and suppression and campaign exclusion segments out of this list, you're also going to be able to understand this when you're going through the doc yourself. But basically, these are the segments that you will need when cleaning your list and when excluding unwanted audiences from your campaigns. So like I mentioned, when you clean your list, if you have these segments created, it will only take you like 1 minute a month to clean the list. And then also you want to create these campaign exclusion segments to make sure that you're having only the right people receive your campaigns and maintaining healthy deliverability more easily. So some of the segments here, for example, recent buyers within X amount of days. Usually we have like 7 days. Depending on your brand, it might be even 14 or whatever. You can decide that on your own. Snooze segment is another one we might use for some brands, which basically allows people to snooze their emails for like 1 or 2 weeks instead of unsubscribing, so we can keep those people on the list without having as many unsubscribes. Sometimes that's a good way to tackle high unsubscribe rates. Then global account exclusion segment. This is basically this is explained at the start of technical setup, but this is a segment that consists of people who are active in any of your flows at the current moment. And then we want to exclude those people from our campaigns when they are going through a flow to ensure that we're going to be having like a really smooth customer journey and the customer journeys are never overlapping. So for example, if somebody is in a welcome flow, we don't want them to be receiving our regular campaigns at the same time, because we want to have them go through the welcome flow in a chronological logical order of emails, from the offer and to the brand introduction to the product showcase and whatever we have in the welcome flow there. And yeah, this is basically how to create that segment here. Then there's going to be sunset segment, suppression segment, spam traps, spam trap role accounts. Everything is explained here, how to do it. Here's also like an AI prompt that you can use with Klaviyo's AI segment builder to build this out for you. And then chronic bounces. So people who have bounced their emails have bounced at least 4 times over all time, or then people who have bounced email at least 2 times over the last 2 weeks. And then people who have never engaged with your emails in 4 months. And then once you have all of these segments created, you can create these segments that are going to be cleaned away from the list every month. So you can tag them as list cleaning, and then every month you are cleaning your list, you can just go to the segment section in Klaviyo. You can filter by list cleaning tag. You can find them from here, and then you can just clean the list out of these every month really, really quickly. And then these are the segments that you want to be using in the campaign exclusion segments. So basically, when you're sending campaigns, usually you want to exclude recent buyers from there. So for example, if somebody just bought with regular price, you might not want them to receive like promotion because it's just going to frustrate them. So you can exclude them. Of course, not every time, but in regular campaigns, usually this is a good way because they're anyways going to be going through the post flow, and we want them to receive that and prioritize that over any additional campaigns. Then there's going to be the global campaign exclusion. So people who are actively going through flows, we want to exclude them. Then we want to exclude spam traps and role accounts. These are like fake addresses, basically, who have never engaged with any of your e-content. Then the bounces, we want to exclude them because that's a negative deliverability metric, and it's going to be hurting your deliverability if you have too many bounces in your list. Suppression segment, this is people who are going to be cleaned away from the list. And snooze segment, sometimes if you have this in place, you also want to exclude those from campaigns. And yeah, so you can tag these with a campaign exclusion, and then you can easily add them to your campaigns every time to make sure that you are not sending to these segments. So there you have all of the segments we suggest creating. Go through this when you have the access to the doc on your own and create these, and then start utilizing these. That's pretty much every segment you will need. For most brands, it's every segment you're ever going to need. If you want some more specific customized segments for your brand context, you can create those as well. But these are the ones that you're definitely gonna use. And for most brands, this is gonna be everything, like 100% of every segment you're ever gonna need. Okay, we've gone through all of these backbone steps, so steps 1 to 3, and now it's time to go into the actual fun stuff, aka the money makers. So step 4, list growth. This is undoubtedly the highest leverage individual aspect you can focus on when it comes to email marketing. And the reason, the more people you have entering your list, the higher the revenue potential of your email marketing. So as an example, let's say for many brands we work with, the email sign-up rate has been close to 1 to 2% at the start of our partnerships. This is at or even a little bit below the industry average. By following the best practices and optimizing over time, we've been able to reach a sign-up rate of at least 6 to 12%, sometimes even 15 to 20% for pretty much all of our clients. What this means in practice is that we're basically 3 to 10x their email list growth, leading to 3 to 10x higher revenue potential straight out of the gate. And if we are also able to increase the conversion to the welcome email, it's gonna compound even more. And here is a Miro board that you're also going to have access to within the doc of the exact strategies we use as a starting point for most of our e-commerce partner brands. So here's the whole list growth strategy. I'm not going to go too deep into it now because you have everything you need here for yourself. But basically, the pop-up strategy we use is going to be this structure where we collect zero-party data on the first window, we collect email, we collect SMS, and then we provide the code in the pop-up. And then after that, we're basically pushing to a personalized welcome flow where everyone has their welcome flow depending on what they chose as their main data point in the pop-up. So for example, in this example, there's some in the first window of the pop-up, they're getting the offer, and then they're asked to share their number 1 health goal. So like nutrition, well-being, mental well-being, better sleep, exercise, and fitness. And let's say they pick improved nutrition, then we're going to be pushing them to a specific personalized welcome flow talking about that angle. But if they're also going to be, but if they pick better sleep for their goal, then we're going to have a separate welcome flow go down for them. And there's 2 big breakthroughs that happen with, or actually a few different breakthroughs that happen with this kind of structure compared to like an average email pop-up. First of all, you're going to be able to get valuable data. For example, let's say somebody is, Like here's a good example. Like if 80% of your subscribers are picking sleep as their main goal, but you don't have optimized like front end funnel for sleep angle in your advertising, for example, maybe this gives you the data that it's time to double down on that. So that's something you find once you start getting people to press these buttons. You're going to have all of the segment sizes in Klaviyo, and you can see really clearly like what is the most relevant angle for people and what is like the least relevant from out of these, for example. And then you can double down on the ones that work well. And then also the second thing is that you can personalize the welcome flow, which usually leads to higher conversions because you have more personalized content for each of these customer profiles. So those are the key things. And then also for the sign-up rates, having this kind of window on the first step instead of having the email address sign-up field straight away in the first step is usually going to lead to much higher sign-up rates from the pop-up. And the reason is basically this micro-commitment idea. So basically when somebody has this button, instead of having to fill in their email straight away, they're much more likely to press it because it feels like they're kind of like having to earn their code. And also it's easier to just press something than write their email address straight away there. And then once they've done this first step, you would think about it like having this on the second step would be a bigger drop-off. But actually, once they have already committed to this one here, they're going to be much more likely to like follow through and even give away this because they've already started and they've already done this. So that's a nice, really little psychological trick that you can use to increase your sign-up rates on the email, together with all of the other benefits I just mentioned. All right, so that's quick overview of the list growth thing, but you can go through it on your own time. There's all of the exact templates that we use for the pop-ups, how to set it up technically, how should they look, what are the triggers and whatever. So you can go through it on your own when you're going through this doc. Now, step 5, probably the biggest one out of these all when it comes to making money with your emails. Email flows. So with email flows, I mean all the automated email sequences sent to your email audience based on specific behavioral triggers. As a rule of thumb, a robust email automation setup like the one I'm presenting here should bring at least 15 to 25% of your store's total revenue, sometimes even 30-40. And this is not all the email marketing revenue you're generating. This is usually just 40 to 60% of it, because the rest is going to be coming from campaigns, which is going to be step 6. So this is how much you should be generating from the automations only. And then on top of that, there's still going to be like similar amount of revenue usually coming from campaigns, depending on your brand, of course, like if you're selling replenishable products or one-time purchases or whatever, but that's like a good rule of thumb here. Now, the best part about flows, first of all, you're collecting revenue on autopilot. So this is going to be, once you have this set up in place, it's going to pay back really quickly. It's going to pay itself back really quickly, and it's going to be working for you 24/7 from that point on, even when you're sleeping, kind of like filling the holes in the leaky bucket for your acquisition funnel. When people are coming in, they are dropping off when they're adding to cart. We're sending them automated emails to recover those abandoned carts. We're sending the welcome email for people who sign up to the list but don't buy straight away. We're sending the post-purchase flows to get people to adopt their product in the best way possible, and everything like this. So that's the first thing, like collecting revenue on an autopilot. And then on top of the direct email revenue, the flows can be leveraged for so much more. This is something that most agencies or most brands are not doing at all, but this is what we're really big into, and what we actually see as one of the biggest values of email marketing, not just bringing like the direct email attributed revenue inside the Klaviyo dashboard, but actually bringing you meaningful business impact for the whole business holistically. Some of the points here I want to bring up. First of all, enhancing customer support with automated customer support touchpoints. So we like to implement a lot of these automated customer support touchpoints within our email automation setup. In the welcome flow, in the abandoned cart flows, in the post-purchase flows, we're having these automated touchpoints that prompt people to respond to these emails, prompt people to give their feedback, and then based on that, we're going to be segment them into different emails, pushing them into, you can, for example, have an automated support touchpoint in the post-purchase flow, asking people if they're happy with their order, and if they are happy, we can push them to UGC collection email, getting high quality UGC, high quality reviews, like full 5-star reviews. And then for those people who say that they are not happy, we can then exclude them from the reviews, so we are not getting bad reviews, and then we can instead push them into another flow where they are going to be asked about their experience, like why did they not like it, can we help you somehow, pushing them to the customer support channel so we can try to turn even those initially unhappy customers into happy customers at the end. So that's one thing. Second part, collecting customer data with qualitative and quantitative surveys. So one part of it can be, for example, the pop-up thing that I just mentioned, collecting sure-party data of their main goals or pain points there. This can also be in the end of welcome flow. For example, we can ask if somebody never bought in the welcome flow, we can send like a personalized plain text email asking, is there something we can do to make you purchase? Did you find, like, why did you not purchase from us yet? Like, did you find another alternative, or did the price look too high, or did you not trust us fully, or whatever we want to ask there to get the data and then to optimize our funnel based on the data that we're getting. We can do the same thing in abandonment flows. Like, let's say somebody abandons their cart and never purchases. We can send them a customer data collection email asking them to press a button in the email based on the reason why they didn't finish their purchase. And we can do the same thing in post-purchase flows. For example, for first-time customers, we can ask how did they find us, or how did they find us, or for example, why did they pick us over the competition, for example. And then for loyal customers, we can send a different survey asking, like, why do they keep coming back to us? What are the main reasons they like about us? Would they like to send us a UGC video for additional gift card or something like that? So there's a lot of stuff we can do with it, and just depends on the brand context and what we want to do. Another thing, like I briefly touched on already, driving product adoption with educational post-purchase emails. So let's say you have a supplement brand, you're selling somebody to the supplement for the first time. We definitely want to optimize their, like, we want to remove the buyer's remorse. Sometimes they are like questioning their purchase or something. They don't know everything about it. We want to tackle all of the potential questions or objections that have here, like sending these automated educational emails about what is the supplement, what are the benefits, what is the expected timeline of results. Here are like other people's reviews of how they got results out of it to remove the buyer's remorse. Whatever like side effects you might have, whatever you can do there to basically answer all of the questions and objections the customer might have to make sure that they're fully primed to make the most out of the product when they actually receive it, which will then in turn help them to become loyal customers if they're happy with their first order. It will also help them to get bring other people to the business through referrals if they're like really happy and they can refer us to other friends of theirs and so on. So yeah, these are some of the examples of like additional things we can do with email marketing automations and marketing automation in general, on top of just collecting these Klaviyo attributed revenue, for example. Now, to note, flows will always require some customization based on your brand's tech stack. So, for example, you might have a different review app, loyalty apps, subscription apps like Recharge or Kio or something. And depending on those, the flows need to be customized a little bit. The triggers are different, the filters are different, the links are different, and so on. But same thing for like product type, replenishable or non-replenishable products, other unique factors. But this is like, even taking this into account, this Marboard that I'm sharing to you below, that contains the most important e-commerce lifecycle flows that should be enough to generate 80% of your flow revenue, no matter what additional flows you build on top. So this is like the 80-20 at least of email marketing, no matter what kind of setup you have. This should contain most of what you need when it comes to email automations, and this should have most of what brings at least 80% of your email automation revenue in this setup. I'm not going to go through it fully again because, as I said many times before, all of this will be viewable for you, and all of the links here, all of the tutorials here will be viewable for you once you have access to the doc that I'm going through right now. So you will have the exact doc as well. But basically, I have all of the flows. I have the best practices for the tech setup here. I have how to set up the flow, what are the time delays, what are the filters for each flow, what are the triggers for each flow, what are the first email, second email, third email topics, additional details on how to set up those, some examples, links and everything like that. So you have welcome flows or pre-purchase flows, welcome, site abandonment, browse abandonment, cart abandonment, checkout abandonment. Then you have post-purchase flows, which are basically like first-time customer thank you flow, upsell flow. Then you have post-purchase first-time customer like nurturing flow, later upsell flow like replenishment flow basically for first-time customers. Then the same thing for second-time customers, third-time customers, and then also here there's 2 other additional flows. So win flow, which is going to be sent for lapsed customers who haven't bought from us in a while, and then sunset flow, which is going to be a key flow for making sure that your list stays clean and you're not paying for unnecessary profiles on your list. And everything is explained exactly as you can set it up in Klaviyo. So you can just follow these structures and implement them on your own. Just plug and play. So that's basically it. Also, I have an even deeper dive video about this that I've made before. This is 42 minutes, this video length. So it's really deep dive into even more advanced flow strategy and strategies we build for our clients internally. These are like our internal strategies that I decided to now share here as well, because if you are curious to go even deeper than this, here's like really detailed advice. And I added it here. I'm not going to go through it all here because it would make this video multiple hours long, but they're here for you to view on your own time when you want. All right. Step 6, which is going to be email campaigns. So just like flows, campaigns can attribute to about 40 to 60% of your total email revenue, depending on how many and what kind of campaigns you send. And to optimize your email campaign performance, you first need to follow the deliverability best practices in step 2 and set up the campaign exclusion segments in your flows in the step 3, which is the segmentation step. On top of these prerequisites, having a balanced and well-planned campaign calendar is key to high results. You shouldn't just wing it without having a purpose in mind for each campaign you send. That's one of the biggest kind of like things that are lacking when we audit e-commerce accounts on a weekly basis, for most of them, to be honest, even for those who have had a previous agency. And with that being said, here's a general campaign strategy we follow for most of our e-commerce businesses. So when it comes to the content ideation, we follow this key content pillar structure here as well. So for the majority of brands, we recommend sending 2 to 4 campaigns a week. And out of these, each of your campaigns should fit into one of the following categories. So there's product campaigns, promotion campaigns, social proof campaigns, engagement campaigns, and then active customers, that's the VIP customer campaigns. All of these pillars have a huge amount of different angles that you can, like sub-angles that you can use. For example, for product campaigns, you can send like a product showcase with the product visual, like benefits around it, visually placed in bullet points, and then just like talking about the products in general. Then you can have like a product launch campaign. You can have like a restock of a product campaign, whatever, different angles here. Also for the promotions, so these are like the discounts or something. This is something that way too many brands overuse. Like they're only sending promotions without any other strategy. Like every week it's just X% off, X dollars off, X euros off, this and that. That's not the strategy that works. That's something we see many brands doing. And usually once we switch to this content ideation, we're not giving as many discounts, but we're generating much more revenue. So this is something you really need to pay attention to. Social proof pillar contains different kinds of like customer testimonial campaigns or public relation feature campaigns or whatnot, whatever can be considered as social proof, like UGC, all kinds of stuff like that. Engagement campaign, these are really key ones that many brands are not sending at all, but how you can, empower and educate your customers, give them more value on top of just pushing them to the sales straight away all the time. So usually we use these quite a lot on a monthly basis. For example, this can be like if you have a lot of good blogs on your site, we can push into these blogs so we can get traffic to the site, we can give value to people, and then once they are on the site, we can also get them to the purchases and to make purchases. So these usually perform really well. We can have educational emails in general. We can have so many different things when it comes to engagement. Like you can just, the sky's the limit here basically. And then active customer VIP campaigns. These are sent for your active returning customers, VIP customers, your most valuable customers. You can, for example, collect UGC or collect feedback from them. You can offer like a loyalty discount for them, for thanking them for sticking to the brand for so long. Again, like whatever you need, you want to leverage these happy and active customers, and you want to dedicate at least like one campaign a month or every 2 months at least to this segment. And to achieve a balance between providing value, building trust, generating engagement, and selling, you need to constantly alternate between these categories, just like I explained. And as an example, for a brand sending twice a week, your monthly campaign calendar might look something like this. So let's say first week, engagement campaign, product showcase campaign, then week 2, social proof, engagement again, then week 3, like a VIP customer campaign, and another product showcase, and then week 4, you have like a promotion. Like, it can be like tied into a specific event of that month, like Easter promotion, let's say. Sell opens and then sell closes, like final call. Here's a really structured way that we use as an SOP for ourselves and for our clients to build the monthly email campaign calendars on high volume for many brands every month. So we have had to make this structured way so we can get it up. We don't have to, ponder about what kind of campaigns we're sending every month too long. So here's tutorial on that, and you can check it out. And this makes it really easy for you to plan your monthly campaigns every month. Also relying on the data of the previous month's performance. That's a key part that is explained here. So you are not just like winging it and making campaigns that first come to mind, but you're actually doubling down on the campaigns that have performed well in the past months. Now, here's about the campaign targeting and scheduling, a complete 7-step checklist that we use as an internal SOP for our team to make sure that we schedule and send our campaigns to the correct segments, maximizing the results and achieving a smooth customer experience. So basically this includes stuff like adding the content pillar tag to the campaign. Here's exact instructions for you. You can go through this on your own time. How to add the correct inclusion and exclusion segments in the audience. About this, I'm quickly going to go through it. So basically 90 to 180 days engaged is kind of like the default segment for general campaigns for us. The goal is to go as broad as possible on the time frame without harming your deliverability. And with promotional campaigns, you can occasionally open up to the full list if your deliverability is good, and you can take the hit of lower engagement rates that usually happen when you are sending the full list with also unengaged profiles included. However, if you have deliverability issues, you might have to warm up by using stricter segmentation. And here, how to determine segment size, kind of like what I already touched on at the start of the document. You want to check your open rates from previous campaigns. If they're consistent between 35 to 50, you can pretty much keep the same segment size. If they're above 50% consistently, you can increase it a little bit. So for example, if you've been sending to 90-day engaged and you're above 50 consistently, you can increase the size to 120-day engaged, which will allow you to send to a little bit more people and increase the revenue potential of their campaigns. And if you can even maintain these healthy open rates there, for some clients we've been able to go into 150, 180, and for some even to full list. But usually it's somewhere between 90 to 180 days that we are eventually ending up to. But it requires you to go up and increase the segment size gradually, just by making sure that you stick to these high open rates. However, if your open rates are consistently below 35, you want to tighten the segment size a notch. So same way as here, but in the other direction. So from 90 days, for example, if you're below this, it means you have deliverability issues and you need to warm your domain. So then you need to go to a little bit more engaged people, only send to those. So your open rates are naturally going to increase. And then it's going to be like this positive virtuous cycle that helps you eventually get back up to bigger segment sizes with healthy deliverability. And yeah, the goal is to tighten until you get back to healthy open rates, like I said. And then don't send to segments. Already touched on these on the segmentation section. And yeah, in specific cases, you might not want to exclude recent buyers or global campaign exclusion, but as a rule of thumb, you want to exclude all of these above. All right. Then step 3, there's how to turn on smart sending. You usually want to do it unless it's like a huge promo we want to go to everyone. This means that you're not sending to people who have received at least one email in the past 16 hours. This is a default time frame in Klaviyo for this feature. Then you want to enable UM tracking so you can track these campaigns on a Google Analytics, for example, and you want to disable custom tracking parameters unless you have a specific reason to use them. You want to add the correct from name, from address, and reply to address. Set up an A/B test if applicable by just duplicating the campaign and then changing the element that you want to change there. And then scheduling the campaign. And for the scheduling part, it's key that you determine your optimal time for sending. And basically, you want to make sure that you check the box based on send time. So this one here. If you don't check it, it's basically going to be determining the segment size on the moment when you're scheduling it. So let's say you're scheduling this campaign out like 2 weeks in advance. It's not going to update the people anymore unless you press this and activate this. So you always want to make sure that this is checked. So then it's going to send to those people who are in these right segments at the time of sending instead of at the time of scheduling the campaign. All right, regarding the campaign sending process, here's something that I really think is important to understand for every brand sending email campaigns. The easiest way to make more money with your email campaigns, while everyone is telling you to never email the full list and only send your 6-day engage segment or whatever like that, I'm offering you a controversial statement, which I am going to be backing by data in this example here. Sending email campaigns to your whole list isn't always bad. So here below, you can see images from one of our clients from Finland. Since starting our partnership with this client, we broadened the campaign sending segment from, first of all, 90-day engaged, which we used as the default when we started working with them, to eventually 180-day engaged because we had so good open rates, above 50 all the time, and the engagement was really good. And then eventually we even increased the size to all email subscribers. So basically, the whole list. Usually you are set that you only want to send to the whole list like once a month, unless like if you don't, you're just going to be hurting your domain reputation. But in this case, we were able to get the full list to be so engaged that eventually we went to the full list when only excluding the key exclusion segments that I mentioned here, these ones. Otherwise, we were sending to the full list, and basically this is what we were able to achieve. Starting point here, 5,000 from campaigns, and then 1 month later, doubled that, and the deliverability score was also higher than ever. So basically 55% open rates in general, click rates 2.4, bounce rates almost non-existent, unsubscribes like this, and then spam complaint rate also almost non-existent, even while sending to the full list all the time. So this is like an example that you just need to, you don't want to have these best practices every time that you just blindly follow. If you can go from 90-day engaged to your whole list, it's basically just meaning that you're sending to the much more people. The same emails are going out to much more people. As long as your deliverability stays high, it will automatically increase your revenue potential because more people are going to be seeing you on the inbox and more people are going to be opening your emails in total. Even if the kind of like conversion rate went down, the absolute number of conversions goes up because you're sending more people. So this is something you always want to keep in mind, to follow the data instead of just following these best practices. Like I said here, deliverability score went from 70 to 92, which is stronger than ever in this example here. Recipients, email recipients per month increased 20% after the first month by increasing segment size. Campaign revenue increased over 100% month over month, and all while sending the same number of campaigns they were sending before us. We just sent to more people with healthy open rates, and this resulted in this. And yeah, I'm not telling you to start blasting your full list straight away, but I would say that your goal with email should be to reach as many people as possible without harming your deliverability. So as long as the deliverability metrics stay healthy, go as broad as you can with these normal campaigns that you're sending to your engaged segments. Because the more people you email, the higher the revenue potential there, as I said. And now that's it about email campaigns. The final bonus section after these 6 ones that I've now gone through is going to be email design and conversion rate optimization best practices. This is going to be quick, but basically high quality email design is important for from two major perspectives. First of all, branding perspective. So a strong and recognizable brand needs a coherent visual image across all marketing channels, including email. In the image below, you can see how big of a brand uplift we were able to do for one of our clients by implementing a completely updated email design. So this is the similar kind of example I used at the start of this video. Basically, it looked like this at the start, and then we changed it to this kind of design. And this is, of course, like this kind of more visual email. It's going to be increasing your brand image so much more compared to just having these plain text emails. So that's one of the aspects of this. It's also going to be increasing the engagement there, which is going to be the second point here. So first point, like I said, branding perspective. You want your emails to be look like the same kind of visual design as you have on your website, as you have in your advertising. So people are starting to, they just notice your brand, the recognition increases, and so on. Second thing, probably even more important, engagement perspective. So this is something that I'm always explaining to all of our new brands and partners when we start working with them. People spend just 9 seconds on average looking at an email. 30% of emails are looked at for less than 2 seconds, 41% are looked at for 2 to 8 seconds, and only 29% of all emails are looked at for more than 8 seconds. So in other words, you don't have a lot of time to grab your reader's attention and get them to take action. And thus, your goal should be to make your emails as quick and easy to digest as possible. And high converting email design is therefore about much more than just aesthetics. You don't want to follow aesthetics over aesthetics over data and over engagement. Sometimes they don't correlate. Sometimes they do, but you always want to prioritize the data. What you can see is the most engaging. You want to double down on that and so on. But in the image below, you can see the most important design elements of a high converting email design. So here you can see them. Like hero section, usually you want to have the logo there. Want to have a really big, bold headline, a short description copy, and then above the fold CTA. So you want to have the first button of the email that pushes people to take the wanted action. You want to have it above the fold, which means that when they open the email, it's going to be straight there, visible for them, instead of them having to scroll down with their phone or with their desktop, because most people just open the email. And like I said, there's a lot of people who just look it for, like 30% of emails are looked at for less than 2 seconds. So if you don't have button straight away there, they're not gonna, you're just gonna lose those people because they want to just get and take the action straight away. Now, the second thing here, you can also see the structure is like, reverse triangle pattern. So basically, when you are looking at the headline, you are looking at the description, and then you're looking at the button. It's like funneling your eyes and attention straight towards this button. So you can just quickly skim through this and press the button without having to read every single word here, because most people are not going to read every single word of your email. On top of the hero section, you want to have a content section, which is going to be a simple, sub-headline, concise copy, engaging visual, and then a second set CTA at the bottom. Usually you want to have it in like this really digestible bullet point visual way, so people are able to see and just like skim through it and see the main points without having to read like a full block of text. And this is a really good example here that I'm using. And then the footer section, you want to have category links like this, or then as buttons next to each other. You want to have contact us details, social media icons, unsubscribe link, physical address, and then, for example, here they have this certified B Corp, so like trust badges. So often you can have trust badges according to your brand, like free shipping, for example, or like this many reviews on Trustpilot, or whatever you want to have there. You want to have the trust badges. And this is also really big point, the category links. Having those there, we have seen those increase conversions like really much compared to just having the main CTAs of the emails, because sometimes somebody opens your email, they don't want to take the action that is given to them, and then they scroll down to the bottom of the email. But if we don't have these buttons there, they don't have anywhere to go, so they just leave the email. But if we have the buttons there, we're giving them the option to do something else than the main CTA in the post. Like they can just scroll at the bottom and then they can pick like one of the categories, go browse there and so on. So this is really important to have in the footer. Most brands don't have it. Most agencies don't recommend it, but we've seen it by data to be really meaningful to increase click rates and increase traffic on your site. And this is why we always recommend doing it. Here is a full tutorial link. I made this tutorial about the email design. This is only one slide of the tutorial, but you will have access to this link, so you can follow this tutorial on your own once you have the doc on your hands. All right, useful email design layouts. So to smoothly guide your readers through your emails, I'm offering you some of the highest performing email layouts we use time and time again in our email designs. So first of all, reverse pyramid, like I mentioned just now, like reverse triangle pyramid. The goal is to funnel attention to the CTA with hook, body copy, and call to action. So just like the hook or the bolded headline, then small body copy, and then the call to action. So your eyes are just funneling down towards the place where they need to press and then take the wanted action we want them to take. Another layout that is always good in emails is zigzag. So basically, showcasing, you can like showcase multiple images and CTAs or text blocks. For example, like this, you have the image, then you have the copy on the right, then you have on the second block, you have the copy on the left, and then the image on the right, and then another way. So people are just like going in a zigzag format through the email. It's really easy way to digest the information, skim through the content, and then eventually go to the CTA at the bottom here. All right. Another example, F pattern. You want to place the most important information on top of the email or on the left side to make your content easily skimmable for people with short attention spans, which is basically everyone nowadays. So, people are just gonna start reading on the left side of the screen, read a little bit, read a little bit more here, and then at the bottom they're just gonna like read even less. They're not gonna read even the full rows or anything. So that's why you want to follow this pattern to make sure that the most important information is placed where people are actually still reading it and not just skipping past it. Here are some additional templates as well that you can use. I'm not going to go through all of these, but these are like alternative ones that you can use. You can even create like your own templates on Klaviyo or in Figma or wherever you're doing your design. And then you can have these templates in place, and then you can just implement your images and your copy and whatever there when you are doing new emails to have some variety and not just use the same one every time. Some additional tips for conversion optimization. Here's like a small checklist for those. First of all, the first CTA should be above the fold, like I mentioned, so people don't have to scroll to click. This is increasing conversion straight away. If you don't have it in your welcome email or your main conversion emails above the fold at the moment, please change it straight away as fast as you can. I can guarantee you that's going to increase your conversion rates or like click rates, and do that traffic to site, and do that conversion as well. Another tip, buttons that stand out. So you want them to have big and high enough, or be big and high enough with enough padding above the text. And then you usually want to have like color filled buttons instead of only the outline. This almost always achieves higher click rates. Then you want to have the category and navigation buttons at the bottom, but not at the top, because if they're at the top, it's usually distracting people from main CTA that you want to push them into above the fold. So you don't want to have the category navigation buttons at the top, but you want to have the logo at the top and then the navigation in footer instead, to give it another easy option for people who scrolled through the whole email but didn't end up pressing anything yet. No CTAs at the top left of the email. That's something we don't usually want to do, because let's say most people are using their mobile phone when they're opening their emails. If you are using it with your right hand, you have your thumb here. You cannot reach your thumb to the up left of the email itself. It's much harder, and it sounds funny or stupid, but it's actually a real thing. So you don't want to put the CTA at the top left, because it's going to be harder to reach and it's going to decrease click rates. People are it sounds like they're too lazy, but that's just how it is, and you want to make everything as frictionless and as smooth as possible for them. So this is interesting and something to keep in mind. So usually, as a default, you want to use center-aligned CTAs in the middle and in the center. Product showcase layout. Usually you want to have one item per row instead of multiple products on the same row. Because then it's just more prominent there. You can have the CTA more prominent as well, and so on. Then you use GIFs or zigzag format to showcase multiple products without taking a lot of space. So GIF is like just blinking different products in the same image, or then zigzag just like going in the format that I mentioned. That's going to help you to make use of the most of the space in the email. And then another interesting tip that I don't see a lot of people talking about, psychological trick. You want to try using people in images whose eyes or faces or hands are facing or pointing to the main call to action. For example, you have the call to action at the up there. Maybe you want to have a hero image of a person looking at the call to action or pointing to it, because people will instinctively look where others are looking to. So if there's something pointing to the CTA, they're going to be looking there, and then they're going to also be pressing it. So it's going to be making it stand out even more. And so yeah, that's the main thing there. All right. So that's the full overview in a video format of the training. There's much more, but that's the full overview that I'm going to go through this training right now. And first of all, congrats on making it through it all. You're going to have it on your own hands as well, and you're going to be able to do an even deeper dive into it. However, by now you should have a really clear understanding of the core aspects of e-commerce email marketing and the steps you need to take to unlock its full potential. But let me ask you this. How would it feel to wake up 6 months from now and see all of your biggest problems solved? Imagine waking up, checking your dashboard, and finding predictable, profitable sales flowing in before you've even had time to have your morning coffee in the morning. Your customer acquisition costs are down, lifetime value is up, and your whole email marketing system is working around the clock 24/7, turning your one-time buyers into loyal customers who can't wait to buy again. And now you're, of course, due to this, able to spend more money on ads upfront because you're making more money on the back end thanks to your optimized email system. This is not just possible. This is exactly what our clients are experiencing right now. And if you want to experience that same transformation, it's time to take action. So by simply following the strategies I've outlined in this training, you'll be able to take your email marketing business to the next level completely on your own without any external help. However, if you do want more information from us, or want us to help you implement the strategies explained, or want us to take care of your whole retention marketing setup, including the sign-up forms, campaigns, flows, SMS, copywriting, design, deployment, pretty much everything in between, please go and claim your free email consultation audit with me from the link below. We'll rate your email marketing with a score between 0 to 100 and provide a personalized roadmap for improvement. If you're a great fit, we're going to be discussing how we can help you implement these strategies and set up a plan for ongoing success. And if it's not fit, I'll also happily point you in the right direction, because we don't work with just anyone. But even if we're not a fit, at least we're going to be walking away with tons of actionable tips you can pass on to your in-house team or current agency or whoever is doing your email marketing at the moment to implement these tips straight away and to see results from in just a few days. So please go ahead and click the link below, book your free consultation and audit today. And I hope to speak to you soon. Cheers.